Hi guys, in this video I want to show you how to make the most exotic lamb dish ever. Now if you're tired of lamb curry or vindaloo or your normal stew and want something more exotic but easy, then this is it for you. Now some people are really into exotic stuff, so make sure you share this video with them. For this recipe I'm using some whole spices. Now these are star anise. So in India they call them chakraful, and in Fiji we call them badia, but just anise, star anise for you guys. So two of those, I'm using two of those. Some cloves, like about 5 or 6 cloves, and normally I'd put in a stick of cinnamon, but I've run out of those, so I'm just omitting the cinnamon here. And now please admire my garlic cloves and slice of ginger sitting prettily on my chopping board here. And you will also need some kind of curry powder, any kind really, because you're just using about 2 to 3 teaspoons of that. I'm using this amazing smelling palau masala because I have this. Now you can use whatever you have, like some normal curry powder or Fiji masala. It works just as well. I've tried those. And also you'll need some meat, of course some lamb. And here's my lamb shoulder chops, about 1 kilo of it, sitting here, getting ready for me to slice it into little bite-sized pieces. Now shoulder meat is best for this recipe, and that's why I'm using this. And yes, to cut the meat up you would need a really sharp kitchen knife like this one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the fat and large bones and cut the meat into 2 centimeter cube pieces, or bite-sized pieces you can say them, but that really depends on how big your bite is, really, isn't it? Now I'm going to keep some lamb bones, some of these round bones, these little ones which have some bone marrow in them, because these ones are going to add heaps of flavor to my lamb dish. It's going to be lamb in a little bit of gravy. So let's get on to it. Now here's my lamb meat all prepared. And I'm a bit of a health freak, hence I do this. I remove all the fat like that. And then I crush the garlic and ginger and chilies into this pounding thing into a smooth paste. Now a little sprinkle of salt makes this much easier. I'm using 3 red frozen chilies. Now these are really spicy, so you can decide how much you want to use. I'm going to make my dish a little bit more spicier than usual. Now you put in the number of chilies depending on how hot you would like your dish to be. So if you're really spicy, you like it really spicy, go for 3 or 4. But if not, just 1 is sufficient, because the other whole spices are going to add some heat to the dish as well. And then next I'm going to peel and slice half an onion. So put the pot on and heat about 2 tablespoons of oil. So again, I'm a bit of a health freak. I am a health freak, and that's why I want to use as little oil as possible. And then add onions and whole spices. That's your star anise and cloves and cinnamon stick. You can see I don't have the cinnamon stick again. And then quickly toast them in that little bit of oil. So toast your whole spices quickly until your onion starts turning brown. That is, it starts caramelizing if you want to be fancy. And then throw in the garlic, ginger and chili paste. Now quickly stir again. Then in goes the 2 or 3 teaspoons of masala, which is the curry powder, and then the lamb straight after that. Now brown the lamb a little bit if you want to, but I don't really need to. And I just throw in my tomatoes, which is about a cup of this basil and oregano tomatoes that I get. This is just some amazing tomatoes as well. So you see there's heaps of flavor going into this. And then you can also add your soy sauce now, just like maybe about a tablespoon of that, and 2 to 3 teaspoons of salt with a little bit of water to just kind of roughly cover the meat, but not totally, so just a little bit. And then Give it all a nice good stir. Now just a little warning, this may give you a sneezing and coughing frenzy, but trust me, it's all worth it. Just try not to breathe too much. And if it all starts burning, remember, add a little water quickly and reduce your heat to low or medium at the most. Now, so you cover and cook the whole thing on medium to low heat now for about 5 minutes until some of the liquid has evaporated and the meat starts cooking. And then you uncover and you stir throughout the process just to check that there's enough liquid for the meat to cook in, because you don't want your meat to burn. And you stay on about medium to low heat, preferably low. Low is good. And so you keep cooking it for about 10 minutes, I would say. But you have to cook it until the tomatoes are cooked and the lamb is cooked. So you have to make sure there's enough liquid to keep the meat from burning until it gets cooked. That's the best way I can explain it to you. And here I'm experimenting with some mint leaves. So I'm just getting some fresh mint from my garden and throwing it in just to see if this is going to work well with the lamb. So you can try, you can put in some other stuff to experiment and see how the flavors come out. Towards the end, when the lamb is cooked and the tomatoes are all cooked nicely, what you want to do is adjust the amount of water depending on how thick you want the gravy to be. Now, I prefer it less thicker than vindaloo, but not really runny like soup or surua. So somewhere in between. So you can adjust the amount of water and bring it to boil and taste your salt and all the flavors. Add more salt if you need to, add more soy sauce if you want to, and voila, your dish is ready and ready to be served. Now this dish was so spicy, so spicy, but guess what? We just couldn't stop eating it. We just can't stop eating it despite it being so spicy, because it's so delicious. You'll want to eat the whole thing up. So this is definitely not a diet dish, but if you are on a diet, you might want to control the amount of this thing you eat. But definitely a dish to be enjoyed on cold winter nights, especially if you've had enough of lamb stew and lamb curry. This is another way to cook lamb, and it's delicious.